Welcome back to Round of the Bases Extra Innings on YouTube. Four final questions with Dr. Mary Ritz, the founder and owner of Almenta International. And I hope everybody will listen to the audio portion of the podcast. Her childhood and the story of the influence of her father and the sacrifice of her grandmother, her mother as well. I mean, all of her family changed the path of this family, and now anyone that Mary is touching with her business. The first question I want to ask you is about your country. Of course, you've been here in the United States for a lot of years. What are your best memories of Zimbabwe? What pulls at your heart in terms of something back at home?
Wow. Just growing up as happy kids, like running around barefooted on the ground. Um, Now when I look at it, very much so, you're like, oh my goodness, it was really underprivileged. But when we were living it, we were happy. We were just happy kids, just running around. My siblings playing, my dad, gave us a stereo. We had a little television, black and white, all those things. The food was awesome. Even today, when I go back, I just crave the food. So that was really my upbringing, just happy, happy, happy memories.
Okay, well, I'll go food for the second question then. What's that one, or what are those one or two things in terms of food in Zimbabwe that you crave, that you need to have, that maybe you can't get in the States, or you can get, but it's not quite as good?
Yeah, this stew. You cannot go to Zimbabwe and not try their stews, all right? So we stew everything. We stew chicken, we stew everything, goat meat, lamb, everything. The flavors, the richness of it. You gotta try that. And for those that care for the steak, please, it's real steak, right? Nothing in it, no, nothing in it. It's the real thing. So yeah, those are the two things that I'm going to recommend you.
All right, I love that. Third question, as we round the bases, you had mentioned in the podcast that your sister, your younger sister, the youngest of the seven siblings, came over to the States on a basketball scholarship. You were a basketball player as well. Tell me about your basketball skills back in the day.
Oh wow. So, backstory, I did not grow up playing basketball when I was, like in junior school, elementary school, did not play basketball at all. Started playing high school, catching up with other people only in high school. But guess what? I became the basketball captain in the last 4 years of my high school because we had 6 years of high school. So I was what we call, I'm going to use this phrase, the playmaker. For
Oh,
those that are out there in Zimbabwe, you know what it is. So I was the playmaker, and I was also the wing, so to speak. Yeah, yeah. Loved it, loved it, loved it.
I'd say you're still a playmaker today. A teacher and a playmaker would be a good, accurate description. So let's wrap this up with the final question, my walk off. And you so profoundly talked about the education that your father received, a humble education, but one that changed the path of your life, your siblings' lives, your mom's life, because of all of his sacrifice, and how powerful it was to be able to bring to him your thesis,
Mm.
and for him to have the ability to read it. So my question is, what did he think?
Oh, great, great. Joel, remember, my dad was my guide, right? He was producing heroes within us. So whatever we did, it was exaggerated. It was the best. So when he read it, though it was deep in some cases, what he said was, "Is this you who is writing this good English? Is that you?" And he called me by my nickname. He called me Magenga. Magenga, is that you writing this stuff, this English with this eloquence? Is better in writing than in spoken, right? So yeah, it was just like, yeah, I think for me, more than him, to see my dad like that,
Uh,
yeah, was very, very special. It
what
was
a
very,
gift, right?
yeah,
What a
very,
memory, what a blessing to have that
hmm
as well.
yeah.
Well, again, I want to thank you, and just such an incredible story. And I'm so glad that we've had the chance to do this. Again, I hope everybody will check out the audio version of the podcast. Dr. Mary Ritz, Almenta International. Thanks for spending time.
Wonderful. Thanks a lot, Joel.